May it please the court. My name is Joan Plummy and I also represent the respondents in this case. I will prove that a dog sniff at the front door of a private residence constitutes a search under the Fourth Amendment and requires a warrant. Would the court request a brief statement of the facts as it pertains to this case?
No, thank you.
There's a legitimate expectation of privacy at the home of any. There's a legitimate expectation of privacy at the home of any residence, all protected underneath the Fourth Amendment. In Cabela's and Place, both courts held that a dog sniff of an individual's luggage or an individual's vehicle are not considered searches under the Fourth Amendment. A dog sniff of luggage and an individual's vehicle are not considered searches under the Fourth Amendment because, as quoted under Cabela's an individual has no expected right of privacy to contraband. However, these decisions of these courts were made based on the totality of the circumstances at hand. Both the luggage and the vehicle were on public grounds. These cases pertain to objects. Luggage in airports and cars on roadsides. But this case focuses on multiple law enforcement agencies who focused on Saberwing's home. So, by the facts of this case, this case's hand cannot be held by the ruling of Cabela's and Place.
You're saying because it's more intrusive, right?
Because the searching of a home is more intrusive.
Why is it more intrusive?
Because the Constitution protects. Because the Constitution protects against the intrusion onto a person's homes, papers, and effects.
They're not entering the home, though.
Yeah, but the Constitution also protects against the cartilage of a home, which is the front door of an individual of a home.
What was so intrusive about this? What exactly did the police do?
The police came with multiple law enforcement agencies onto the to surveil the home, and not only to surveil the home, but they came with a drug detection dog to the front door.
Is the surveillance itself, is that okay? Because since they were on public property, couldn't they do that to any house?
The original surveillance before they took the dog onto the property, I think he's referring to. Was that okay?
Yes, that was okay.
So what you're saying is it's the dog part that makes it the intrusiveness.
That makes it intrusive.
Okay.
And though the Fourth Amendment protects against the though in the Fourth Amendment the chief evil against which it shuns is a physical intrusion. The physical intrusion into a home for the purposes of a search, which the police officers did wisely avoid. However, it protects also against the cartilage of a home, which is also protected underneath the Fourth Amendment. Though the police officers came up to the resident with the intent to perform a sniff test.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you think the officer had a probable cause to come in because the situation here was. Wait.
I think what my esteemed colleague is trying to say is, did they have probable cause to do the sniff? Did the envelope from the car provide them probable cause to enter and do the search, I guess?
And also the house looked, okay, when the blinds are closed and no one is there, it's most likely a drug place, drug dealing or something like that, and the officer knew that. So do you believe it?
The blinds are closed and no vehicles are there just because maybe the resident wasn't home. But based on the totality of the circumstances, I don't believe it was probable cause to bring a drug sniffing dog to the house because they obtained the address of Saberwing out of Jackamar's car. There is no evidence that shows Jackamar actually stays at the residence stays at the Saberwing residence. So there was no probable cause for this.
But they found, I mean, multiple drugs in that car. They could have had a reasonable suspicion that the address on the envelope had something to do with that, the contraband and also the criminal activity that's going on. Is it not reasonable for them to assume that?
No, because even hypothetically, if I had an envelope to my mom's residence inside my car, it doesn't mean that justifies probable cause to go search my mother's residence for drugs, just because I had drugs in my vehicle.
To get back to the dog itself, don't police officers already have like the ability, the common law privilege, to go up to a citizen's door and like ask questions about them, like a knock and talk?
Yes, they do have the constitutional right for knock and talk, but this was a rigorous and intensive operation that occurred at the front door of a person's residence. And yeah, it isn't like a knock and talk. A knock and talk is a less intrusive act. This was more intrusive.
Okay.
Given the totality of the circumstances of this case, and the facts of this case,
One quick question though, I'm sorry.
uh-huh.
But did the dog, did it find out anything about inside the house, or did it just detect the odors emanating from the house?
I detected the odors being emanated from the house.
So didn't it not actually see anything like about the interiors of the house itself?
Not necessarily, because as seen in Kylo with the thermal imaging, it was heat being emanated from the house, the same way odors being emanated from the house. And though it didn't reveal anything, in a sense, about the home itself.
Well, I thought they ruled against Kylo. One of the reasons was because of the technology being introduced. They were concerned about in the future they'd have 3D technology to see into the house. I don't think that there's going to be any advancements in whether a dog in a dog sniff. They're not going to get any better at alerting.
Actually, think in that case, they also talked about not being allowed to use technology that's not only available to public, but also technology of this high extent. Not everyone owns a narcotics dog that can smell drugs at a person's residence.
I think any dog can smell the drugs. It's the fact that the dog is trained to alert to the drugs is the main thing. So I guess I just don't see how Kylo really, affects this.
It affects this because of the very fact that it's a technology being used to obtain information about a home that would have not been known if they did not perform this test.
But it's smelling the odor that's emanating from the home. So do they have a reasonable expectation of privacy to things that are that escape your home?
Finish your thought.
Yes, they do. The same way in college they had an expression of right of privacy for the heat that was being emanated from their home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so normally when you're